Good afternoon, friends. That silence you can hear is only possible in a bit of the country where no motorised transport is allowed. Welcome to Herm in the Channel Islands, and I'm here as part of a Bishop's Staff retreat for myself and my colleagues as we get to know these islands, which are now becoming affiliated to the Diocese of Salisbury. So the churches here are becoming in relation with us, and we're learning about them and have come on a couple of days trip over the water. And across this stretch of water is the island of Guernsey, where we're staying, and we've just made a day trip on the ferry over to Herm. Absolutely fascinating, just so lovely to be here, and in the middle of October with the sun beaming down. The stillness here is such a gift, and like its neighbour Sark, no cars, and just the ferry to bring us back over, and our boat will arrive shortly. It's at low tide, and you can see how treacherous it would be to navigate with all of these rocks. The title of the island is, or the islands is, Herm, Jetu and the Humps. Isn't that lovely? And these are some of the humps, these outcrops, and there's one of the greatest contrasts in tide here in the world, I understand. 9 or 10 meters at spring tide, and spring tide is not about the seasons of the year, but about the seasons of the moon, the phases of the moon. And it's at high full moon you get the spring tide, and it was a very full moon last night. So tonight the tide is it's gone very low, and it's going to come up very high, I understand, and will come up almost up to where I am here, 9 or 10 meters. Extraordinary. All this will be covered with water, transforming the appearance of the place entirely. So a beautiful experience. Island culture is different, isn't it? The smaller the island, the more distinctive the culture, until it gets so small that you can't live on it. And distinctive ways, language, customs, wildlife, of course, and affords the opportunity for different customs. That can be difficult. It can be claustrophobic sometimes, but it also suggests that there is a possibility for community to be in different ways other than the one we know. And each community is an island of a kind. It's just that this is much more pronounced, with very clear boundaries. Many people come here, of course, to escape from the pressures of large community, and it's certainly an escape for us to be here. Feel the presence of God in the stillness. Been reading that passage where Elijah escapes runs away to a cave after his great victory over the prophets of Baal, and he experiences something of a crisis. This is in the ancient stories of Israel, and he sits in a cave, and he's called out to the entrance of the cave to hear the word of the Lord, and there is the sound of an earthquake, sound of a mighty wind, thunderstorm, and all of the raging, tempest of creation. And then the Lord isn't in any of that, and it's in what's left is a sound of sheer silence, Scripture says. And it is in that he hears the voice of the Lord guiding him on. So a quiet place is not a bad place to come in order to discern what God is saying to us. I hope you can find a quiet place in your life. And so from Herm in the Channel Islands to you, wherever you are, peace be with you, and God bless you as you go to ground.